Yes, we are able to see.
Okay, okay, perfect. Yeah, okay. Okay, so guys, my name is Gaurav and I'm working with SAP from last 10 years now. And I was working, my primary skills was SAP FICO till 5 years, and then from last 5 years, I'm also working as a solution architect, which means I'm responsible for end-to-end solutioning to the customer, which involves all the logistics modules as well as the financials. So it is like a complete end-to-end cycle. I'm looking for a customer. And then from last 1 year, when SAP launched this new product called as SAP S/4HANA, and I'm leading as a in my current company, I'm leading a team of consultants who are specialists in this particular technology. So it is not only finance, it is not only MM, it is not only SD, whatever are the new developments which are coming into S/4HANA. So I am basically looking for all these developments, and I'm also getting involved in understanding what are the new things which are coming with each version which SAP is releasing. So when we are talking about SAP Simple Logistics, actually saying this Simple Logistics doesn't exist anymore, because SAP Logistics was a plan. SAP Simple Logistics was a plan from SAP when they launched SAP Simple Finance, and then they said whatever new developments will come into the logistics functionality, they will name it as a Simple Logistics. But that never happened. And currently, they are not calling this product as a Simple Logistics. The product has been renamed now, and current product which is available in the market is SAP S/4HANA On-Premise Edition 1511. 15 stands for 2015 year, and it was launched in November, so it is 1511, which not only includes SAP Simple Finance, but it includes all different functionalities which are related to manufacturing, procure to pay, sales and distribution. It consists of all the functionalities or all the modules which SAP is supporting. So we'll discuss all these things in detail, but just to give you an overview, that if somebody asks you what you are learning, I see if you uh, in the market, everybody is talking about Simple Logistics, and that's the reason we have given the name as Simple Logistics. Otherwise, the candidates who are looking for this training, they will get confused what exactly is this session about. But on the very first session, I'm telling you there is nothing called as Simple Logistics in the market. This product is now called as SAP S/4HANA Enterprise Edition, or you can say On-Premise Edition 1511. So before I continue, I also just want to have some brief introduction about both of you, so that I'll be able to understand like what exactly you are doing currently, what is your level of knowledge, and why you have chosen to go for this training. So maybe you can, Sunish, you can just give me the brief about yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Sunish, I can hear you.
Yes. Um, from my side, mainly I'm working in logistics area. Like my core module is SD. I can say that last 8 to 9 years I'm in SAP. So I work in different module in terms of supply chain management, SP, CRM, SAP variant configuration, and SAP BI, and I have a very good knowledge of SAP HANA as well. The current my role that is, I working for one of the Euro project. My role is a IT lead in Euro project. So here we have many country rollout implementation. So even our company also, they are going for S/4HANA. So right now they are in merging the two company. So when the merger happens, when they are going to a new system, then they are planning for a S/4HANA. So that is the reason, I am also very much interested to know in SAP S/4HANA.
Perfect. Okay. So in short, you mean to say you are mainly your basic primary skill is into SD and CRM, and apart
Yeah.
from that, you also have some working knowledge on different logistics modules. And because your company is planning to go to SAP S for HANA, you are looking for this skill set.
Right, right.
And you also said you have some knowledge about SAP HANA. So are you already, this company is already working on SAP HANA, or they are working on some traditional traditional database?
So like, right now already Enterprise HANA implemented on the reporting layer. Yeah. So now they are
You
moving
mean to
into
say
an ERP
you
layer
mean to say the
as,
BW?
sorry.
You mean to say the BW is implemented, but ERP is still working on traditional database?
Yes, ERP is still working in a traditional database. So that is merger is happening now. So now our next phase is going to an S4 HANA.
Okay, okay, perfect. Okay, what about Chinoy?
Yeah. Hi, Gaurav. Is it my voice audible?
Yes, 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 Chinoy, I can hear you.
Yeah. Hi, Gaurav. My experience, maybe you can say that I'm a bit beginner when compared to the vast experience what Sunish has stated. But yeah, I've been working with the product for close to 10 years now. So extensively worked in the logistics side, expertise in process modeling, process reengineering, global template design, RDS, rapid deployment solutions, certified in logistics and in extended warehouse management system, expertise in IT transformations, and have worked across global implementations, like greenfield implementations, starting from the scratch, close to 10 projects across the globe. Worked in US, UK, Dubai, Middle East, APAC. Uh, yeah. So my interest, what I'm looking forward for this particular session is to leverage the extents of what the go-to, since I believe that the go-to decision from SAP is to go with the HANA, and it has leveraged it to finance. So how does that fit in the new vertical of logistics, or simplifying the logistics, which we call it as simple logistics, or HANA, or to support the logistics module? How does that fit in, and to gain that extensive expertise in terms of hands-on, in terms of process, in terms of customization, and to learn end-to-end aspects post this once we are through with this session. So that's what the objective is from my side, Gaurav.
Okay, okay,
And
Chinoy, perfect.
yeah.
Okay, so both of you are basically from the logistic background, so you must have some decent amount of experience, and you must be knowing what all things happens in logistics. But only thing that you want to learn here is what is new in SAP S for HANA, which was not available in the existing ERP which is offered, or maybe the historical ERP which was offered from SAP. So that is the entire aim of this training. What we are going to do here is we are going to cover all the recent changes which came into SAP when SAP launched this SAP S/4HANA. But obviously, because we are talking about logistics, so we will not be covering the financial part of it, because I'll just give you the background, like how this product came into picture. So it was like in 2011 when SAP has started the database. They released their own database, which they also called as a platform, which is HANA. And then this HANA was a platform which was allowing the business applications to do the real-time processing, which was not available in the other traditional databases which were available in the market. Maybe I'll just go to the next slide, and I think you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. Yes. So this is just a brief what we are going to cover in this demo session. Just give me a minute. Sorry. Yes, so these are the demo topics that we are going to see today. So first of all, when we are talking about SAP S for HANA or maybe SAP Simple Logistics, first of all, we need to understand what are the problems which are faced by the business all over the world, which ultimately resulted into the new product. Definitely there must be some problems that we are facing by the companies which are already using the existing ERPs. And then we'll talk about what are the new functionalities and what are the new benefits which are available to the customers which are going to deploy SAP Simple Logistics in their premises, or they want to go for the cloud. So that is exactly what is the available deployment options. And then the adoption options. Adoption means if the customer is already working on SAP, maybe on 4.6, maybe on 6.0, whatever version he is working on. And if he wants to move to SAP Simple Logistics, what are the path, what are the options available to the customer? So yes, so these are the challenges which I was talking about. The problem today is uh, the traditional databases. So let's talk about Oracle, SQL Server, Sybase, whatever databases we were using in all those previous days. The problem there was that these databases were developed around 30 years back, right? And at that particular time, the data uh, required and the hardware which was available, that was very limited. So if you consider RAM itself, RAM around 30 years back, you understand that RAM was a major challenge to get the RAM because it was too costly and it was not available in small formats. So today you can get more than 200 GB of space in a single memory card. That is also possible, or a small chip. But earlier this type of memory was not available. At the same time, the RAM was very expensive. So these databases, when they were developed, they were basically developed to work on the hard disk, because hard disk was available, which was allowing the databases to store the data. Okay, and due to which, I think you must be aware that if you want to extract or if you want to get some data from RAM, it is very faster as compared to extracting the data from the hard disk. So that was the whole problem in traditional databases. The data was getting stored in the form of hard disk, and to extract the data, it was taking a lot of time. And because it was taking a lot of time, what developments were done is they have segregated the tables so that the entire burden doesn't goes on a particular table. So just to talk about a single table, let's say the in the materials, whenever you do any transaction, the data is entered into the MKPF as the header and MSEG as the line items. But apart from these two tables, there are many other tables which are also affected. So you have a lot of aggregates tables. You have a lot of indexes tables. So whenever you do any single transaction, it is not only affecting the main table, it is also affecting some aggregates tables. Why? Because aggregates tables can be used for the reporting, while the transaction tables can be used for the data processing. So why these aggregates came into picture? The whole idea of aggregates was because the data was available on the hard disk and it was not very easy to extract the data from hard disk. And that is the reason to segregate all this data into different tables. At the same time, high cost of operations. I'll tell you why I'm saying high cost of operations. The thing is, today if you are using SAP, you must be using the on-premise edition and you must be using the traditional user interface. So if you want to perform a single transaction, even if you want to approve a purchase order, so you need to log in into the SAP system, you need to log in onto you need to go onto the particular transaction, and then only you can be able to perform the approval. But what if this functionality is available on your mobile? Instead of logging into the SAP system, if you can do this activity, some small activities on your mobile, will not it be saving you a lot of cost in terms of the hardware that you are providing to the users, the trainings that you need to provide to the users? And that is exactly what is done in SAP S/4HANA because of the use of SAP Fiori. Now, what is SAP Fiori? This is also one of the topic that we are going to discuss when we see this course in detail. But high level, you just need to understand that because of SAP HANA, because of the capabilities of SAP HANA, instead of saving the data at multiple tables, the data is getting stored in very limited number of tables. And to extract the data, it is 10,000 times more faster than it used to be traditionally in the other databases. Also, talking about user interface, that we talk about high cost of operations, SAP Fiori is a new technology which allows to create very simple, very easy to use user interfaces, and you can perform small number of transactions even from your mobile devices also, even from your tabs also. So you don't need to log in into the SAP system, which is a traditional user interface, which is very difficult for the end user to provide the training. And the last is high cost of infrastructure. So you must have heard now SAP is, or SAP S/4HANA is also available in the cloud edition. What is cloud edition now? So normally, if a customer is implementing SAP, so first thing we ask the customer is to purchase the hardware, to purchase the licenses, to purchase the network devices. Why? Because if he wants to implement SAP, there is huge number of hardware required. And this is the only solution which is available before HANA came into picture, before cloud solutioning came into picture. So even if you are using ECC today, normally it is on-premise edition, which means you need to purchase all the hardwares, you need to purchase all the licenses, and then only you will be able to use the benefits of SAP. But SAP S/4HANA comes into two versions, that is on-premise edition and cloud. So on-premise is a traditional version which allows you to purchase all the hardwares and softwares and maintain the software on your own risk. But cloud solution offers you that you don't need to purchase anything. You don't need to purchase any hardware. You don't need to purchase any network devices. What you can do is you can just pay the subscription fees to the service provider, and he will provide you the server access. Right? So this cloud solution is which will come along with your SAP S/4HANA. So at the high level, what you understood from this slide is, first thing, SAP HANA makes it simple to store the data and to retrieve the data 10,000 times more faster. SAP Fiori helps you in providing very easy and simple user interface to the users, which means the user can perform the daily routine transactions from their mobiles also. At the same time, the companies can also get benefited by using the on-cloud edition, which means they don't need to pay the one-time infrastructure cost. Rather, they can just pay the subscription fees on the monthly or the yearly basis, and they can still make the benefit of what is provided by the new technology called as SAP S/4HANA. And these are some of the lines of businesses, or lines of when we talk about the areas which are going to be simplified by SAP Logistics. Now, before I come to these lines of business, I was telling you about the history. So as I told you, the HANA came into picture in 2011, and now you know what are the benefits of SAP HANA over the traditional database. When this SAP HANA came into picture, SAP also thought about, why should we not do something into our application, into our ERP application, by making the use of the potentials of SAP HANA. So they came up with the SAP HANA database for the BW. They bought SAP HANA as a database for their ERP, ECC6, EHP7 also. But after that, they also came up with the SAP Business Suite, which is powered by SAP HANA, which means not only ERP7, not only ECC6, EHP7, they built some new logic. They changed the total architecture of the system, and they came up with called as SAP S/4HANA Simple Finance 1.0, Simple Finance 2.0. Now, what was different in these editions? The only difference was that the finance as a process was simplified. finance as a process was totally simplified. The architecture of finance has been completely changed, which means instead of using 100 different tables to store the data at multiple places, the amount of tables have been brought down to less than 10. But why only finance? Why not all other modules? Why not logistics modules? Why not MM? What about SD? They were still not touched. So whatever tables are being used today, the same tables were used. Whatever processes were being running today, the same processes were used. So this SAP Simple Finance add-on, or they named it afterwards as SAP S/4HANA 1503. Why 1503? Because it was launched in March 2015. So this 1503 was only providing you this simplicity in terms of finance, not in logistics. But now the latest version which we are going to discuss is 1511, which is launched in November itself, and it includes, apart from simple finance, also these lines of businesses also. Which are these lines? The first line is supply chain. Now supply chain is a very big term. Supply chain includes your sales, it includes your purchases, it includes your MRP runs, everything. But then if you see the sales, sourcing and procurement, manufacturing, R&D, asset management, services, so most of the things which are going to be part of your logistics. And again, one thing to remember here, because we are understanding logistics, that is the reason I have only included the logistics modules here. As I said, finance is also going to be available in this line of business. HR is also part of 1511. Because we are talking about logistics, in this slide you are only able to see the logistics processes which are simplified. So these are some of the modules which we are going to discuss, which we are going to see in detail. What are the changes in each of this module when we are talking about simple logistics? So this is just to give you the graphical, what I can say. Yes, it is a graphical representation of what we have discussed till now. So you can see here, this is my traditional classic suite, which means ERP, ECC 6 or ECC 4.6, whatever you are using till date. So what is going to happen here is you have transactions and you have master tables. So these are the master tables and these are the transaction tables. What is happening here? So you have two tables for material master. Okay, MARC and MARD, these are the two tables. One is at the plant level and other is the storage location level. Apart from this, you also have the history, MARCH and MARDH. Now why this history is required? This history is to make sure that whatever data is being updated, it should be available somewhere for the audit trail, and that is the reason why these two tables are also included in the architecture. Apart from this, if you see the upper side of the transactions, for transactions also you can, at least in this scenario which I am showing you, there are more than 11, 12 and again 11, so it is around 22 or 26 tables. So 26 aggregate tables. So whenever you perform a transaction, one of this aggregate or more than one of the aggregate tables gets updated. Why? But before telling you why, do you understand, do you have any idea what is aggregate table? Can anybody tell me any of this table except this table MKPF? Can anybody tell me what these tables are used for? Any one of this table? Sunish, any idea? Let's say MSKU, MSKA, why these tables are used?
MCHB is used for batch, and MSEG, I think, I doubt. MCHB is used for batch, that I know.
Okay, MSEG is different. MSEG, let's not talk about MSEG because MSEG is a basic table for accounting which holds the line items. But okay, all these tables, as you can see, yes, all these aggregates tables, MSTQ, MSTE, these are not doing nothing. They are not going to store any new data. Same data, whatever is available in MSEG or MKPF, the same data is getting duplicated, and some of the values or some of the fields are also getting updated in the aggregates table. I'll just give you the example. So let's say we you had done one transaction in materials management or in, let's say, in inventory. You just said, okay, this is my available stock, 100 quantity. Okay, out of this 100, I am moving this 50 from my unrestricted stock to restricted stock. Okay, so you have done one transaction. Quantity 50 has been moved from unrestricted to restricted. Okay, now if I want to generate a report, how much stock is available in
Gaurav, sorry to interrupt you. I just lost you for 5 to 7 minutes because I lost the session due to my connection. Can you
no
just
issues.
repeat if you can?
Yes. So Sunish, we are talking about this aggregates, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So what I'm saying is I'm just giving you the example why these aggregates are used in the background.
Right.
So for example, if you have total stock of 100 into your store, and all this 100 is unrestricted stock, which means you can use it anywhere. Now, if I do a transaction, which means I'm keeping this, I'm taking 50 out of the availability stock and I'm moving this 50 to my restricted stock. Maybe, let's say I want to reserve it for a particular project. Okay. Now it will generate a document, right? It will create a line in MSEG. Right? It will tell me, okay, this transaction was done, which was basically to transfer the quantity, 50 quantity of this material from unrestricted to the restricted stock. But it will also update the aggregates. Aggregate means what? Now, when 100 was available, when you see the report, let's say how much stock is available. Earlier, this table was showing the available quantity as unrestricted 100. Now, it will again update the totals table. It will make that 100 as 50. At the same time, Sunish, are you there or you're still facing some issues?
I can hear you. You can go.
Okay. Yes. So, for unrestricted, the quantity, the total quantity will be automatically changed in one of these tables from 100 to 50. At the same time, the table which is used for reservation for the stock, that will also get updated from 0 to 50.
Right.
You got this example?
Yes.
Yes. So now my question is, why this is required? Why I need to update each and every time how much is when I issue anything? Why should I change the available quantity? If I have the line items with me, okay, let's say if I have 3 different line items. One line item is saying the quantity 100 has come into the stock unrestricted. The second line is saying the quantity 25 has been moved from unrestricted to restricted for projects. The third line is also saying 25 has been moved from unrestricted to restricted for the projects. If I have all these 3 line items with me, can't I derive what is the available stock for unrestricted and what is the available stock for the restricted? Can we derive or not?
So your question is that we have the 3 line items where the 2 line items are moving into restricted, right? What about the third line item?
Yeah. Third line item is the stock is coming into the picture. So there was nothing earlier. 100 quantity has come into the unrestricted stock, the first transaction, which means the quantity is now available is 100.
Yes.
Okay, so if we have all these 3 lines, can't we derive how much is available in restricted and how much is available in unrestricted?
Yes, we can.
Or we can derive, right?
Yeah.
If we can derive from one table itself, let's say there are 1,000, 10,000 lakhs of transactions, but all the transactions are getting updated in the line table, right?
Yeah. Right.
In that case, why should we update the aggregates? Now, this is a very great question. Now, can you just explain what do you think? Why this was handled separately? Why the aggregates were created in the traditional databases and why they are not getting created in the HANA database?
So when you look in the traditional database, what I can see that the one transaction which is happening into the one table, At the same time, the parallel tables are updating, right? So that is the architecture layer of the our traditional DB systems.
Exactly,
But
but why the traditional system was allowing, why the traditional system was architecture in such a way that instead of updating one table, it was updating multiple tables. There must be some reason behind it, right?
yeah, because one we are looking for our the transactional purpose, one we are looking for maybe our analytical purpose, right? So when
Exactly.
comes, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
But why analytics separately? Because of the performance, because of the speed.
yeah.
If we
Because
do
that,
transactions as well as analytics on the same table, it will create performance issues, at least on the traditional databases.
right. So
But when we are talking about SAP HANA, it is capable enough to handle both the things at the same time because it is more than 10,000 times faster compared to the traditional databases, and it has all that functionalities inbuilt which will help to make sure the transactions are also captured in the real time, and the analytics on the same table is also performed at the real time with a faster and with the improved performance. That's why we are saying it is simplified. Why it is simplified? Because now the data will not be updated in multiple tables. There will be only one table which will be updated, and that is material doc. You can see here, MATDOC. So instead of updating all these different tables, what SAP S/4HANA is going to do is it is going to update only the single table, MATDOC. So do you think it is simplified or not?
yeah, it's really simplified because all other tables has been removed, right? So that we can say
Yes.
that it's simplified.
So from the transaction point of view, it is also simplified. Whenever you perform any transaction, instead of updating 100 different tables, if only one table is getting affected, automatically the speed will be also improved, right?
Right.
But what do you think about analytics?
So
If I
definitely,
want to create, if I want to create a Z development, okay, and I want to have the information picked up from all these different tables.
yeah. But right now you can take it from one table, right? Because earlier before it was in the multiple table, but you now you can get it from the one table. That is the beauty of the S4HANA or the
Exactly.
HANA.
Yes. So being a functional consultant, normally when you ask to create a Z report, you are responsible for making the functional specifications, and you need to provide your development person the tables, the fields which needs to be picked up from different tables. So don't you think your job will also become very easy because all the data is available in a single table, so you don't need to give him the entire logic of different tables.
Yes, exactly.
That is the whole beauty of this new concept. And not only in materials, this is just an example. Whatever aggregates were used in ERP, be it sales, be it manufacturing, be it materials management, be it any other module, be it finance, all the aggregates have been removed, and there is a single table which is affected for a particular module. So from the logistics point of view, whenever any transaction happens at the material level, instead of affecting all these different tables, a single table will be updated. And because of this, there are a lot of new reports which will be available to you. There are a lot of new functionalities which will be available to you because the logic, because the architecture has been completely simplified. So what are these benefits that you are going to get? This is again the same thing. This is like we have seen the material case here. Similarly, what will happen to the material valuation? Obviously, we are going to discuss all these things in detail, but the idea of the demo is just to make you understand why SAP S/4HANA, how it will be simplified, what are the benefits that you will get out of it. So the key innovations, like
Yeah,
what
Gaurav, sorry to,
innovations are,
hi, hi Gaurav, sorry to
yes,
interrupt you.
Kina.
If you can come back to the previous screen. Back to the screen, the one yes. See, maybe I'm lacking a bit in terms of the aggregate tables. So now we have the masters, material master, and master tables the similar way. And now what, according to you, has been simplified is the aggregate tables, which is kind of, I mean, What about this batch information? I mean, where does it come into picture when you say that simplified and material document? So where does this come in S4 HANA?
Sorry. Can you repeat
So
the
now
last
you
line?
have you have the two material masters. Okay, I'm just taking this one of the tables, aggregate tables, as an example, MCHB. Okay, so now when you are going to S4 HANA, apart from MARC and MARD, where does this batch table comes into picture?
No, there are no batch tables for the master. Why you need the batch tables for the master?
Because batch is a master data, right?
Okay, no. See this whatever we are discussing here, this is only related to the materials. You are right, batch is a master data, but batch we are not considering here at all. We are only talking about the aggregates tables.
Okay.
If you're
So all
talking
the
about
master.
the master data for the,
Okay.
yes, master data, most of the tables will remain same, because see, master data is something that, let's say if you are posting a particular, if you are creating a particular master data,
Mhm.
normally the data is, maybe it is segregated. It is like, for example, if you are, for example, here itself, this is for plant and this is for the storage location, but there is no redundancy of data. The amount of data which is getting stored is totally different than what is getting in the plant, right?
Hmm.
But here what is happening is the transaction is already updated. You will definitely see all the lines are updated, all the fields are updated here, and the same fields, some of the fields are appearing here, some of the fields are appearing here. So there is a redundancy of data,
Hmm.
and that is exactly what is removed in SAP S4 HANA. Master data, normally they don't have any redundancies.
Okay.
Yeah, what
Okay.
my understanding in this point here it is, when we comes to an S4 HANA, whatever the traditional database tables, they moved into an S4 HANA table that is suppose, let's say, here you can see MARC and MARD. So here they have moved all the fields apart from in the traditional fields that you have from the other table also they have moved into this table. Apart from what they did that whatever the tables that you need, that is not a storage table, which means it's not a database table where you can store the data. It will take the data from the runtime, which means that it is a kind of the view what you can see in
Yes.
enterprise HANA, right? So that is where in the right hand side you can see that on the fly aggregation.
On the fly aggregations,
Yeah.
yes. This is
So,
exactly what it means.
so here answering the Genoy question is that when it comes to the batch concept, so that batch when we are going into an S4 HANA, so there would be a mat doc. I'm not sure that what is that table, whether it is a new table or not. Maybe we can add that table into in that table or existing our MARC or MARD, or if we are not adding into this two table, then the batch or other, because material master has got number of the tables, right? We know that there is a 10 to 15 views are there, so that
Hmm.
there would be more than 25 30 tables are there, so that
Hmm.
what they did, it is not storing the data, but those tables would be there, which will be views only. That is the concept. Yes, your question is very valid. So batch field we will have either in this three table or in the view tables. That is what my understanding.
Yes. Let me come back to this. You are actually right. So when we are talking about on-the-fly aggregations, as I given you the example of three different lines. So what I told you, that if you have the idea, if I given you these three lines, I'll ask you to calculate how much is available on the unrestricted and how much is available on the restricted, which exactly means what SAP S4 HANA can also do is, if it have the line items, it will automatically calculate what is available in the restricted and what is available in the unrestricted. So for example, whatever tables, whatever aggregates you can see here, they will not store any data as mm, sorry, what was your name?
Genoid. Okay.
No.
But
Who is other guy? I forgot the name.
Sunish.
Sunish, yes. As Sunish said, instead of storing the data, these tables, will be converted as the views, and views are something which doesn't hold any data in itself. Whenever you ask any question, so let's say the material doc table is available, and if I want, let's say, batch information which was available in MCHB. So although this table has been removed, but this is still available as my view, which means if I ask any data from this table, what it will do is it will redirect the control to a single table. It will fetch all the data and it will give it to the user. We'll talk about this in detail, but the thing you need to note here is these tables, although they will be removed, but they will be created as the views, which means the data will not be stored in all these tables, but whenever you have any query, whenever you want to ask something from these tables, you can definitely ask, and this will also give you the values. The only difference is instead of storing the values here, it will redirect the control to MAT-DOC and it will give you the answer.
So just 1 second, Gaurav. I mean, from my initial launch of S4 HANA itself, I am playing a devil's advocate over here. Okay, because I've seen S4 HANA as a simple marketing strategy from SAP side to copy it with Oracle. That's simple reason, as simple as that. They want to replace Oracle, put it with some logic saying to the customers that S4 HANA will give you this benefit, that benefit. Okay, whatever it is going to give you. But the core logic is they want to replace the dependency on Oracle and then put S4 to make it more SAP specific and force the customers to go into the HANA database, thereby they can increase the revenue. I see purely it as a marketing strategy, nothing else. Because
I actually don't agree with you, because I can see the lot of benefits that the customer is getting out of SAP S4 HANA.
Yeah,
because
maybe yes, going down the line with Fiori and everything, what they promise, hopefully if it
yes.
delivers,
So
going ahead.
the
But
complete
as of
bundle.
now,
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously they have simplified a lot many things. That is that is definitely might have been done over here. But again, why would you think? I mean, if a customer can very well hold, I mean, not comparing the cost and everything. If a customer can hold very well the infrastructure cost for it, why would he spend so much lavishly on S4 HANA? Because I know that this is very expensive and the customers are really struggling to get this implemented as well.
Okay. See, to your answer your question, as I told you, this SAP HANA is one of the key enablers. Apart from this SAP HANA, you also have SAP Fiori. Okay. So now SAP Fiori is what? It is a user interface. Obviously, if a customer is using a product of SAP, and if you ask him, okay, I will give you some better user interface and I will give you some things which will help you to which will help you to perform the transactions on the fly. So it is not necessary for the user to sit in front of the computer to do the transaction or to do the analytics. If you see the analytics also, comparatively what analytics were available in Oracle, you will see the lot of difference. I'll tell you why. If you see the old traditional reports in Oracle, it is normally the report painter reports, which means you can just see the totals. Let's say this material is available 100 quantity. Now, if I want to see how this is 100, so I need to go to different tables and I need to cross verify, or I need to reconcile whether the report is coming proper or not. But when we are talking about SAP S/4HANA, all the reports, or I'll say majority of the reports, are given till the complete drill down, which means you can just double click, it will take you to the next step. If you double click, it will take you to the document level. If you double click on it, it will take you to the master level. This functionality was not available as far as analytics is concerned in the Oracle database. Maybe I can give you the example where this functionality was available in ECC also. So let's say if I'm seeing the accounting document for a particular material document, so if I double click on the header, it takes me to the purchase order, or maybe the Miro document, if I double click, it takes me to the purchase order. So like that, each and every report will be available till the complete drill down. This functionality I don't think SAP was providing in ECC, and this is only because of this simplified architecture. And this architecture wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to interrupt you, I mean, maybe I mean, Sunish can correct me if I am wrong. the detail level, wherever to what extent we can go, I believe to the nature of the drill down of what the core element of the report. I think if you take a purchase order, I mean, if you can, what are the materials over there? If you double click on that material, it will take you to the material master data. Or if you go into the purchase order history, and if you click, it will take you to the material document. And then if you want to see the financial documents, you can drill down into the financial document. So those functionalities are still available with the conventional ECC with Oracle database.
No, that's what I am saying. If you consider a one document, it definitely takes you to that level. But what if you are performing the analytics of the complete company code level? So let's say how many purchase orders were created, the quantity and the amount. Okay, how? Double click. It will give you all the purchase order that are clicked. Okay, click on a particular purchase order. It takes you to the Miro document. If you double click, like till that drill down is available now. See,
No,
drill
no,
down is one thing. Other thing, as I told you, the processes, the user interface, Fiori. So with the use of Fiori, you can perform most of the transactions from on the fly. Like you can do anywhere. If you are having mobile, you can perform most of the transactions from your mobile also. So these are some of the.
To be honest with you, I work on implementing the mobile solutions of SAP for multiple clients. I have implemented mobile solutions for multiple clients. Honestly, I can say you my experience working with the mobile devices. I work on RF devices for interfacing with iTest application or with Telnet applications. Till my experience is that these applications are, I mean, when it comes to the better interfacing and better giving of results and processing, these are not still kind of an evolving stage, what I can say. So, I mean, when it comes to interfacing with the mobile applications, again, there is a long way to go for SAP.
Okay. Okay, that is the debate that we need to handle. But this is what is provided by SAP. Yeah. So these are some of the processes. I have not highlighted all the processes here. These are some of the processes that are being improved. So let's talk about sales order fulfillment cockpit. So on the fly itself, you can see, okay, how many sales order are punched and how many sales order are, let's say, giving a problem. So for example, if there is some, if I want to see how many sales order are punched and how much material is availability or not, so I can completely drill down this report till the material level and I can check whether I'll be able to fulfill this order or not. Or maybe other reports also which are related to the sales order fulfillment. We'll talk about the complete cockpit, what exactly it includes. Similarly, available to promise, sourcing of procurement and material requirement planning, how you can do in the new system. These are some of the processes that are improved a lot. We are going to discuss all these processes in detail. And obviously, these are deployment options that we already talked about. So you have the 3 deployment options. One is on-premise, which means you can keep everything with you, which means the server is placed in your premises. You have the complete control over it, but you need to incur a lot of cost on your hardware. And on cloud, which means you don't need to purchase any hardware. You just need to pay the subscription fees, and you can use SAP S/4HANA with minimal of charges, but again you don't have the control because it will be maintained by the third party. And hybrid is one thing, which means the combination of both, which means you can use the combination of on-premises. Some of the components will keep on premises while some of the components will be kept on cloud. These are some of the deployment options which are available. Okay, so this is about SAP Simple Logistics. The course will take around 25 hours to complete. And obviously this, as you know, this is a new technology, so there are a lot of improvements which are expected in near future. So even during our course, if there are some new functionalities which are coming into place, we are also going to touch upon that. And even after our course completion, if something is available, it will not be the discussion on the session, but I am going to share you the documents, whatever new documents are coming from SAP, so that you can also be like you are also aware what is happening new into SAP. So this is what I just wanted to mention in the demo. If you have any questions regarding course, you can ask me. Or if you have any questions regarding admin, like what will be the fees, when will the batch start, I think Sana will be the best person to answer that questions.
I think we missed the slide in between where you were more. Uh, you were trying. You were.
Yes, I
Yeah.
told you that this is just the same scenario. So I don't think I just written here that you can see this also. It is also the same thing. So instead of holding all these different tables, it is simplified.
Okay.
So the objective is that only we are going to see in detail. There is no point discussing here.
Okay. So my question is would be apart from simplifying the structure and architecture of the way how you in terms of implementing this new database and simplifying a lot of queries, a lot of performs or whatever it is in terms of report extraction and speed and better throughput, better analytics, blah 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 from SAP. What else is there in the product? What else is kind of, because if I can when I am a customer, I compare the current logistics cost of infrastructure with the SAP cost of this particular product being implemented, and with the kind of infrastructure cost which is coming down very highly, and when comparing the cost of investment for this S4 HANA product, how does the customer foresees this? And I believe that, I mean, what is the success rate of this product being marketed to the customer? I believe that current S4 HANA Simple Finance also, how many of the customers have successfully implemented this? Do we have any slides of such kind?
See, as you know, this product is completely new. Even when we talk about Simple Finance, so there are not much of customers who have completed the implementation at the, like the end-to-end implementation is completed. There are not much customers. There are a lot of customers who have started off with the implementation of Simple Finance, and but I'll not be able to say which customer has completely, apart from SAP itself, they have implemented the Simple Finance, and I think Deloitte is also one of the customer who has already implemented this SAP Simple Finance, and they have completed in one of the entity. And Asian Paints is one of the customer who is from, at least from the Indian perspective, I know this particular customer that they are also implementing SAP Simple Finance. But apart from that, many customers have started implementing SAP Simple Finance, but most of them are under process. So they are not completely completed the project. So this is what is the status as of now. Talking about SAP Simple Logistics, I think it is, there are a lot of customers which are still waiting for the new version to come, because the new version is expected in the month of February, which is the current month. So they are expecting 1602, which will again bring some new functionalities, as we discussed some processes in our last slide. These are some of the functionalities they have provided, but they are still working on some new functionalities which will come in the latest version. So the customers are still waiting for the new version to come so that they can see if it is getting they are getting benefited out of this or not. But as of now, I have not heard that a particular customer has already selected Simple Logistics to go for it.
Okay.
Sorry guys, I have to rush now because I have some other commitment at 5:30. So if you have any questions related to the admin, I think you can just ask Sana.
So we may have a few more questions, so that's the reason I asked Sana that we should have the 30 minutes time to a question and answer.
Okay.
So my first question is that after completing this session, the person who can work as a solution consultant or uh, the kind of logistic consultant, or what kind of the training that you are providing? So it is, my question is that you are going to give a solution architecture side where you are not going to touch the each and every transaction, just you are going for the high level things, or what is your plan?
Yes, see, the plan is, as I told you, normally if I'm talking about simple logistics, so I also understand someone will from only background will not undergo this training. Somebody who is at the higher level itself, somebody who is supposed to provide solutions to the customer, this course is pertaining to that person. So the person who is looking after the entire logistics functionality. So in that case, definitely, as I told you, this will only cover the delta part. When I'm saying delta part, I'm not going to cover all the transactions, what is happening in but at the same time, uh, uh, I'll not untouch any of the thing which is available in the new functionality. So let's take an example of sales order processing. So sales order processing, how it was happening in ECC, I expect that all of you know that. But only thing what I'm going to cover is I'm going to cover how it will be done in the different way when we are talking about SAP S/4HANA, right? So we are going to use the Fiori, we are going to use all these different apps which are available, which are
Okay.
also connecting us with our customers. So these are some of the new things that we are going to see.
Right. So this is what where I am looking at. So okay. As you mentioned that here it is a sales order process, how we are processing in ERP and how we are going to process in SAP HANA, right? So my question is that apart from Fury, is we know that we are creating the blocks and we are adding into in that layer. That is it is pure. It is a user interface, right? That part is a different thing. So my question is that what you were doing in the SD cycle, or I'm not talking in the SD cycle, just you, or you are mentioning here the SD, right? So we may have some configuration changes or some, our the SDRO changes. So such kind of would you able to guide us, or you will not cover into that area, because
No,
that is.
definitely. Yes, definitely. If I'm talking about a particular scenario and if it requires some of the configuration also needs to be changed, so definitely that will be covered. Otherwise, without doing the configuration changes, I'll not be able to showcase what is new
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Simple Logistics. At the
that's
same
fine.
time, the transactions, when we post the transactions, we are also going to see what is the impact of these transactions on the database. So which tables are getting updated now? Are we able to perform the reporting in the better way? If you are saying in the better way, which new reports are available? That is what we are going to get out of this training.
Yeah, right. That's fine. So suppose let's say we have the traditional database that is ERP system, and where we are moving into this same ERP system, moving into an S4 HANA platform, right? So here that migration approach, when you look in, so we have the listed activities and SAP also providing into an open SAP, right? So my point is that I'm already touch base with this open SAP, all the courses, and I have seen your content that you are going to explain on attribute and analytical and calculation views, and so these are, we know that already existed things, right? Apart from a consultant point of view, so would you able to explain us more into a technical side? Okay, this is guys, because we are looking one side that we are looking in the solutioning to the customer. At the same time, we are the people supposed to guide our the consultant. Okay, this is the change has happened into the technical layer, so we have to go into this way because this is a pretty much a new product, right? We cannot expect some of the junior guys, okay, you work for that. No. So would you able to such kind of the guidance? That's what I'm expecting.
That is exactly the scope of this course. So that is the main thing. Otherwise, there is no point in going through this course.
Right. So
Absolutely,
mean,
absolutely. I mean, yeah.
yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead,
sorry,
Jason.
Sunish.
Yeah, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
absolutely. I agree completely with Sunish. And one of the key expectation from this course is that we should be in a position to guide our customers to why we should go for S4HANA, and specifically to lead, being a lead of the same, as we should be able to do an end-to-end from S4HANA logistics perspective. So that is my expectation out from this.
Yes, exactly. So, see, first thing first. So, when we are talking about new technology, as I told you, this is not a course which should be done for the person who is having 2 years of experience into a particular module. This is more focusing on the entire logistics functionality. So, it is assumed that after completing this course, you will be responsible for providing this solution to the customer. When you are in front of the customer, what is expected out of you, that is going to be covered in this course. And at the same time, if you just say customer, okay, the sales order processing will be done, but you itself don't know how it will be done, then there is no point of committing. So at the same time, we also need to understand how it will be done, so that even if you are not directly working on that areas, you at least need to provide some trainings to your junior staff who can know exactly, okay, this is the way it has to be worked. So you will be more responsible for interacting with the customer, while your junior staff will be responsible for doing all these back-end activities.
Yeah, right. So, other one thing just I want to notify here it is, while we are looking into the course content, I have seen that many contents that you have added, that is great. So I just want to see any one of the topics, what would be your expansion. Suppose, let's say architectural changes or configuration related to sales. So that is, I'm not expecting right now. So you can just email to Sanad or to me, what content exactly you are going to that part. So there we will come to know exactly what is your motive on this training and what we are getting. Because one topic, if you can explain only the content, the sub content, that's what I'm expecting. Because we are very quite good time working in SAP, and something which we are expecting really that benefit in the sense of what exactly done in the S4 HANA layer, the technical side and the solutioning side. This is what my expectation. So I would request to you if you could provide one of the area, because then we can identify, okay, this is really a right time that we have to do this training. Because why I am putting this question, and because when the enterprise HANA has introduced, when we look into the BI layer, there are many layers. There is no need of BI layers, right? You know that when you look in the data source, from the data source level, info object level, or when you go there, if you have the attribute view, calculation view, analytical view are there, then you don't need all those things, right? But BI architecture layer we can remove many things, right? So such kind of that kind of the mapping, how it is going, how you are going to done in the S4 HANA in terms of sales. That's what I want to see.
Okay. So what
Are you
I'll do
getting
is,
what? Yeah.
yes, Sunish. So what I will do is, maybe I got your point. So you mean to say, the at least for the one of the topic, you want the complete uh, coverage, like what exactly will be covered, how will be the approach, and
Yes.
I think that will work, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay,
And
sure. I'll just send it to the Sana, and she will share it with you.
Gero, I am really appreciated your knowledge. I have seen that you have very good knowledge on the S4 HANA layer, because this is the very earlier time that you acquired this much knowledge. But at the same time, what we are looking that, okay, whether we are into the right track, and everything we will get as per our expectation.
Sure. If you are investing the money, you are expecting there should be some output that is in your mind. So that is a good point. So not an issue. What I'll do is, I'll just forward the complete details of any particular topic, which will
Yes.
help you in understanding whether what you are expecting is getting achieved or not.
Sure. Sure. That's great.
Okay, Sunish, no
Yeah.
issues.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
great. Thanks,
Yeah.
Gaurav.
Thanks,
Yes,
Gero.
thank you, July.
Yeah, we'll be in
Okay.
touch with you. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
sure.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.